Hey everyone, this is Chris Keithore from Your Guitar. We're hanging out at Marathon Music Works in Nashville, Tennessee, hanging out with Tim from Clutch. Tim, how you doing?
Doing great.
Dude,
Last night of the tour.
Yeah, I know that's what Tevin said. You're probably
good.
looking forward to getting through the show, and so one last obstacle is to hang out and talk gear with us. So we thank you.
It's not an obstacle at all.
Well, thank you very much.
It's the easiest thing ever.
Killer. So you've been a long-time Gibson guy. I've seen you play Les Pauls. I've seen you play SGs. I know we've talked during the Earth Rocker sessions that you had a Les Paul Jr. with P90. So what are you rocking now? What's kind of your main guitar that you're using on tour right now?
Well, yeah, like you said, it's kind of constantly changing with me. You know, one of the things I've finally figured out in life is that it's fun to play different guitars. It's fun to play different gear. So I'm always constantly switching stuff up. And
is it more of a thing because you like to try new things, or is it because what you played or heard so far isn't what you hear in your head, like you're chasing something unattainable?
Yeah, I mean, there is a little bit of that, I think, but you know, for the past maybe 6 months to a year or so, I've really been, you know, trying to think about what I want to play on the next album and what direction I want the guitar sound to go in. Mm-hmm. And so,
what direction is that going?
Now that we're getting ready to go into the studio, I've ended up with these SGs here.
Okay.
And
what's one that you particularly play maybe more of, or is it just more like a tuning thing, or is one a backup to the other, the two that we're looking at?
You know, actually I have 3 SGs on this tour. I kind of go back and forth between playing those 3 SGs.
Okay.
And also, I bought a newer Gibson Custom Shop Les Paul Special, which I also have over here that I didn't bring over here, which I've been playing a lot on this tour. But I think I've, aside from spinning all over the place, I think I've pretty much settled into the fact that I want to use SGs for my main guitars on the next album.
And why is that?
Because they're more fun to play.
Fair enough answer. Tonally, what do they do for you that maybe a Les Paul with humbuckers, because I see both these have P90s, so what kind of growl or tone are you chasing in your head for the next album and currently enjoying on stage?
You know, I'm kind of going for a little bit more of a, let's say, how about free on steroids?
Oh, okay.
Is that possible? I mean, obviously, that might not be attainable.
But still fun to try.
However, you know, for me personally, that's kind of the stuff I gravitate towards, like 70s guitar sounds and, you know, guys that really just did it for the tone instead of the shred. You know? So, yeah, the whole thing is a constantly changing thing, and I'm probably going to change my mind within a half hour. After
you get done, you're done filming, you're like, shit, I should have said this. This is what I was wanting, actually. So what do you like about P90s currently?
They just sound a little bit more raw and heavy, I guess.
Okay.
The other SG I have over here does not have P90s in it. It's got regular humbuckers. And if the club is just too noisy, sometimes I have to play that guitar. But usually it's all right. Yeah, I mean, I've kind of gone back and forth. Like you said, I played a junior with P90s on Earth Rocker. And then I kind of stopped playing that guitar, and then I realized that, yeah, when I play Les Pauls, I love the tone, but my hands really don't fit around the neck of my favorite sounding Les Pauls. So I kind of go back and forth between, you know, going into the studio is totally different than playing a live show. So it's a lot easier for me to play a Les Paul in the studio than it is on stage, you know.
It's a lot easier for your back too, unless these are abnormally heavy SGs, which normally isn't the case. But
yeah. I don't know, just for me, my gear is always a constantly changing entity.
So when we film this again in a couple of years, we'll have a completely different setup, probably.
If you guys come to the studio when we record, it will be basically every amp I own set up.
Damn. What about these 2 SGs? Are these older ones? I see that they're kind of beat up, or at least the white one is over here, the cream one. Is that like an older vintage one, or is these just...
Yeah, these are both 1965.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Damn. How did you acquire these guitars? Is it
I found them both at a music store called Action Music that I go to in Falls Church, Virginia.
Is that kind of like your home base in terms of like gear searches?
It is, actually. It's a super great vintage store, which really don't exist that much anymore. And the owner's super cool and basically will deal with me wanting to trade in everything that I own at some point, you know?
Yeah, and I've seen on during the summer, whenever that European tour took place, I saw that you were using some PRSs. Are those still in your quiver or rotation here in the current tour, or was that more of a kind of I guess a phase?
No, well, I don't have my PRSs on tour with me right now. I have an absolutely amazing Paul Reed Smith that they built for me that I have in Europe with our stuff. We have a storage space over there to just make it easier as far as shipping gear. We just leave it over there. So I have an absolutely amazing Paul Reed Smith. I'll be honest with you, I have 2 Paul Reed Smiths, and those are the best made guitars I've ever laid my hands on. So there's that.
And they're not far from where you guys kind of, you originated.
Yep, they're based out of Maryland.
Yeah, so that's cool, supporting the hometown folks.
Yeah, they're a super cool company, super cool people. And yeah, I'm sure my PRSs will make it to the next album in some way or another.
Cool. And is there anything that you've done to these 2 older models to keep them running or updated? Are they the original pickups and hardware?